Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Birdman here from the Birdman Show. I wanted to get on here real quick to formally apologize for this episode that you're about to watch. We had some serious technical difficulties, um, so I definitely apologize for the audio quality. You're going to hear some echoing while I was trying to figure things out on my end. So we had some issues, but those issues will definitely be resolved moving forward, and definitely as the Birdman Show continues. So, thank you. Once you get past technical difficulties, it was a phenomenal show. So, thank you very much. See you guys later. Birdman Show. For real, Cleveland. Edit that out, man. I need this job. Hey, yo, how you doing? What's up? It is the Birdman. We are on the Birdman Show. You know what to do. Do it with me one time. That is right. We're here live on the Birdman Show. I see Ace rocking his Birdman shirt. I got mine rocking my Birdman shirt. Elaine didn't have hers. Mama Bear has hers on. She's on camera right now. Still working on one for Dez. Brittany, you're also lacking in that category as well. Anyways, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our third installment of the Real Talk discussion panel talking about relationships. Um, let's just see how everybody's doing. Um, Elaine, Pac-Man, let's start in New York. All right, gonna hit that East Coast real quick. In New York, how you two doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah, we doing great over here.
Well, y'all sound like y'all just got into an argument.
Nah,
Not yet.
yo,
Oh,
see, I'm about to say let this podcast get started.
wow. I mean, yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, we all right. We all right. She said we all right. So we all right. Like, god dang. Okay. Great way to start the podcast off. Hey, why not? We already had a bunch of other crap going on with this. Anyways, moving right along. Uh, Mama Bear, how you doing?
Doing great. Been a busy week, but we're handling it.
Hey, that's good. I mean, hey, that's like I said. That's all you can do is you got to handle it. Business has got to get done. All right. So, Ace, how you doing, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear. You can hear me.
Yes,
Because I
we
really
all know
don't.
you have poor mic placement. So
Well, it's not that I have poor mic placement. It's that Riverside just doesn't like me because
yeah,
we tested this on a different platform and it worked just great. You heard me all the way back here, but up here
yeah.
is where I have to be for Riverside. But no, I mean I'm doing great. I was struggling last week. Weather had me down. I'm still struggling with the pain in my back, and no, it's not Mama Bear. Um, but
Oh,
that's
that'd be
just
your rear end.
yes, that would be my rear end. That's just something I'm gonna have to deal with until we find a resolution for it. But I'm ready to.
It's called Preparation H.
Oh, shots
Yeah,
fired. Shots fired.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm good. I'm out.
Outstanding. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Dez, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Ready to get this finished.
Yeah, I am. I'm right there with you. Especially with all the technical difficulties we're having. Yeah, he's still trying to do it. Some stuff.
Oh, I
Uh,
think he's Elaine and Pac-Man are down there trying to.
oh, okay, yeah, but whatever. Um, yeah, okay. So, Britt, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Doing good.
Besides running a little late, but doing
Good.
good.
Good. I love you, Britt. We all love you here.
Did
I
he
see I'm starting to
happen to
have issues
mention
again.
to Riverside
Can
that he was
everybody
going to
still
be
hear me?
transferring service next week? Is that why Riverside's being a little bitch this week? I mean, for
He
real.
didn't say anything. I don't know why it keeps trying. I don't know why it keeps booting him out.
Can you guys hear me?
No idea.
All right. Brittany, how are you doing this week?
Amazing. Sorry, had to. I'm doing good.
Awesome.
It
Helping
sounded
you
like a little keyboard.
out. All right. Um, well, where we had started at the last time that we started doing this was we started with toxic relationships, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe we started with Britt. So we'll go
Yeah.
ahead and start where we left off the first go round. Britt, what is
Yep.
your
Try it again.
definition and your outlook whenever it comes to a toxic relationship?
Like I said, it's definitely the negativity. Just to kind of go, I guess, a little bit more on that. Like for an example, if you're in a relationship and you guys are feeding off of each other and it's not the positive energy that you should have, it's the negative energy, and you're just feeding off of each other and fueling that negativity, that would be a toxic relationship in my eyes.
Valid point. Not unless they feed off of negativity. I mean, maybe they make each other better because of the negativity.
Well, there's a difference between
Positivity,
having like constructive criticism
right?
from a partner and then having the negative where it's just, whether it's one side, whether it's both sides, having that constant negativity, it's going to beat you down. It's going to basically flip your world upside down eventually, because your mental health is going to deteriorate after so long in one way or another.
Absolutely. Is he in there like completely remodeling his office? Are you with this Birdman?
Oh, he
No,
I am. I just
customer
don't know if you
no,
service.
guys can hear me.
he ain't. He's still in there trying to get it figured out.
Oh,
Right. So, Elaine and Pac-Man, what do you guys think about what Brittany just said? And do you guys have anything to add to it?
For the most part, nah, she pretty much covered everything. I mean, toxicity is a real like weird concept in a way of like it could be physical, mental, psychological, like it could be all different ways, but for the most part, it becomes toxic in a relationship when you stay, you know, after the constant back and forth, the constant negative things that counteract with the positive, and the constant downward spiral, you know, and then you continue to do it, like the definition of insanity, when you keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. It's
Exactly.
pretty much like that. That would be toxicity for me. You got anything?
Right.
I'm not sure what Brittany said because I had to step away, but to me, I feel like toxic is knowing the things that hurt your partner or get on their nerves and purposely doing them because you know it's going to hurt them.
So
And
being a button
then,
pusher.
yeah.
Okay.
And then turning around and be like, no, it's okay, babe. Don't worry. I do love you. I was mad at you when I said those things.
And you forgive them for that.
Yes. And then you forgiving them is more
Again and
toxicity.
again.
Yeah.
All right, sis.
Boy, where to begin with that one? That's a loaded question. No, I would pretty much have to agree. Toxic relationship is continuously being with someone or being in a situation because there's toxic friendships as well. Um, Being in a situation that is detrimental to you and you continue to stay because you love that person.
Do you have any experience with toxic relationships?
I have a lot. As stated before, I have been married 3 times. I, yep, I have a lot of experience with toxicity. I have friendships, I have relationships, even family that is toxic. So,
Boy, howdy. Oh wait, did I? Was that my
and
outside voice? All right, Mama Bear. How about you? Do you have any words of wisdom to brighten what everybody else has been saying so far?
Sure. Basically, I agree with everybody. A toxic relationship to me is seeing how they drag you or themselves down and accepting that that's the way life is supposed to be. Accepting the negativity in things between the relationship, no matter if it's a partner or if it's friendship or if it's family. Accepting the negative in things basically is saying that it's okay to be drugged down. It's okay, that's how life is. Um, I've had some bad experiences myself, but I agree with everybody here.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Outs.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So for whatever reason,
All right. So for
it's
whatever
acting
reason,
stupid as all
it's
get out
acting
on
stupid
the
as all
MacBook.
get out
So
on the
I'm
MacBook.
joining via
So
of
I'm
the
joining via of
iPhone,
the
which means
iPhone, which
yeah,
means
I'm back.
You
yeah,
got your
I'm
Yeah.
back.
So
Yeah.
that's great.
So
Okay.
that's
So
that's great. Okay. So
listen, I'm gonna say
listen,
this.
I'm gonna say this.
Obviously, I think this topic is
Obviously,
one of those
I think this
topics.
topic is one
What
of those
we're
topics.
doing right
What
now,
we're doing right now,
that
um,
it's
that
something that needs to be talked
it's
about. And
something that
since we're
needs to be
having so
talked
many
about. And
issues,
since we're having so many issues, I'm just
that more motivated to make sure we
that more
get through
motivated
this.
to make sure we get
All
through
right.
this.
So I
All right.
definitely appreciate everybody
So
out
I
there
definitely
who's
appreciate
watching and
everybody
listening to
out
this,
there who's
especially those
watching
who are
and
going to watch
listening to
this
this,
later.
especially
We've been
those who are
having
going to
some
watch
serious
this later. We've been
issues,
having some serious
which is another
issues,
reason why I'm
which is another reason why I'm looking to go to a different
I
platform.
just can't. I just
I
can't.
just can't. I just can't.
So we
So
will definitely be on a new
we will
platform
definitely be on a new
next
platform
week on the Birdman Show
next week on the Birdman
and
Show
moving forward. So
and moving forward.
let's get
So
through this one
let's get
on
through
our
this one
farewell
on our
tour on Riverside.
farewell tour on Riverside.
Okay, so
Okay,
I
so
completely missed everything.
I
Where are you guys
completely
at
missed
right now in your
everything. Where are you guys at
discussion?
right now in your discussion?
Me.
Waiting for Ace to respond to how he feels what a toxic
All
relationship
right,
is.
take it
All
away, Ace.
right, take it away, Ace.
Just a heads up. Let me know when you're going to talk so I know that I need to mute. Thanks, babe. All right. You did it.
I love you.
All right. I have to 100% agree with what Pac-Man said. And the one thing that he said that hit the nail on the head was the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That is the basis of a toxic relationship. Because when you are in a toxic relationship, you constantly do something to try to change the person that you are with to your desire. And by doing that, that is trying to change them into somebody that they don't know how to be. So by trying to change that person into something that they don't know how to be, you are creating the hostility within them without knowing it. Because there comes a point where they are unable to take you trying to change them anymore, and they finally just say, fuck it, I'm done. This is what I am. This is what you're going to see. By you continuing to change them and expecting them to be somebody that they are not is what is creating a toxic relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
well put.
I was about to say, and then with that, that's when it becomes manipulative. You know, when you constantly trying to change somebody into a way that you only want them to see, and they don't see it in that same way, they'll consider it as, you know. But go ahead, proceed. I'm sorry. I just wanted to piggyback off that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, you're good. You're good.
So we've hit everybody, right?
We've hit everybody, right?
Okay. Now
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you
Now
all.
I'm going to ask
question.
you all
Okay?
this question.
Okay.
I'm going to list off a few
And I want
things.
everybody to be honest with themselves.
And I want everybody
As
to
I'm
be
looking
honest
at
with
the list,
themselves, because as I'm looking at the
having to
list,
be honest with
I'm
myself
having to
as well.
be honest with myself as well.
And here are some ways to identify a toxic relationship.
And when I say be honest with yourself, be honest with yourself on both sides of that.
Have you been in a toxic relationship?
Have you been in a toxic relationship? Have you been the toxic person in the relationship? Persistent unhappiness, feelings of sadness, anger, anxiety, lack of respect, constant conflict,
meaning you're causing,
or you're in the relationship that has constant conflict,
competitiveness,
and jealousy,
financial
and social control,
raising concerns
and having them minimalized or dismissed. One person having to sacrifice.
Hold up. I hate to interrupt you, but what was that look for?
Who?
Why'd you have to look at him like that? Oh yeah,
You the only fool that got somebody else.
You the only fool that got somebody else in the camera with him.
It's crazy, right?
Financial and social. What was that? What was that one you said, Tim?
Control.
Yeah, financial and social control. And you looked at him like, motherfucker, that's you.
Oh, he does clog my pockets.
That's my saying. How you gonna say, bro?
Because you do.
Well, listen, and a lot of this is there's also degrees. Let me finish this out, and then I'll get to that. Like I said, raising concerns, having them minimalized or dismissed. One person having to sacrifice their needs to keep the other happy. That's just a few. We're gonna start with that. Now, when I said that, I knew the financial social control was going to be one of those things.
Mainly on the
financial side. Okay.
That's where,
like I said, that one's kind of iffy because sometimes the other partner knows that the other one spends way too much money.
So maybe they're saying,
hey, look,
we need to slow down.
We need to slow down on that stuff. I'm trying to build something for our future, and we can never build anything if you're constantly spending all the money that's coming in.
But like I said, it's one of those things that
has to be a conversation. But also on the same side, if you're that person that's saying this, hey, I'm trying to help us get to build a future, and you're not doing anything to help us build that future, then you also need to learn to say, hey, you know what? Either this stops or I'm walking away.
Okay, and that's there's nothing.
Okay,
wrong
and
with
that's there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay,
especially if you are trying to build a future for yourselves, if you're trying to build a future for your kids.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, we're gonna hit each one of these, the ones I just mentioned, and there's a few more we'll talk about here in a few. But those are some of the ones. And like I said, be honest, because there's times I know in past relationships I reading this in some cases I was toxic.
And that's just this part.
And that's just this part of the list. We're not even talking about the rest of the list. That's just this part of the list. I know I'm reading this. I'm like, man, I was toxic in that relationship. You know what I'm saying? And then there's definitely relationships I've been in where I was definitely in a toxic relationship, and I was the one that was on the receiving end of that toxic relationship.
Like I said, what I'm finding out more.
And more while we're doing this,
I'm finding more and more out about myself.
I'm finding more and more out about myself. You know, whether it's in my current relationship, even when I'm looking back on past relationships, as I'm trying to hold myself more accountable for things. I'm realizing, hey, you know what? Even though maybe it was mostly the other person, it doesn't matter, because like my grandma said, and I've heard other people say this too. If you're in a situation and there's a problem, if you're even 1% part of the problem, you're 100% part of the problem. You can't sit there and get on somebody about them doing something, doing this and that, and you're doing something else. If you're causing even just 1% of a problem in a relationship, you are 100% accountable for that relationship also failing. Too often I'm seeing and hearing people talking about, this person I was with, they did this and that. And I'm not talking about the physical abuse. I'm not talking about mental, emotional abuse. I'm just talking about everyday regular stuff. People just get upset about stuff. And they say, well, he was too controlling. He didn't let me, do this and let me do that. Well, what were you trying to do? Well, I was going out shopping every week, and I was trying to go out to the club with my girls every night. He was okay. So is that really controlling? Or is it him saying, hey, look, we're in a relationship. We got kids.
You don't need to be out every night.
You don't need to be out every night.
You don't need to be spending all this money.
We got other things we got to worry about.
People take that as controlling, and it's
that's a two-way. That's on the other side. I've seen women be that type. To a man in a relationship where she's saying, hey, you don't need to be going out all the time. You don't need to be spending all this money. You know what I'm saying? I'm working, you're working. We got these kids. We're trying to do this. You're out doing this, and we're not building this together. So I'm challenging anybody that watches this, and for those in the live studio audience now, start really evaluating yourself. If you're having issues in your relationship, start evaluating yourself first. Take accountability of yourself first. If you can say 100%, I'm doing everything I need to be doing and I should be doing. You know what? You talk to that person. You talk to that person. Look, I'm doing everything I can. I need your help. I need you to join me. You need to join in, or I'm out.
But don't ever say no, you don't mean.
After hearing that, what are some of your guys' thoughts? What are some of your guys' thoughts on this? Ace, I'm gonna start with you on this one.
I guess that's what I get for fucking pointing the finger earlier. No, hearing that part of the list, I have been the recipient of the majority of that list, and there's a couple of things on that list that I've been 100% the instigator of. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. Amazon's the devil.
Ain't it though? God. Good God.
So whenever it comes to money control, Amazon's the devil.
I think anything
online it really is the devil.
But the thing of it is it's a lot of things that people don't think about. Whenever it comes to psychoanalyzing a relationship, you break it down piece by piece and see which aspects each person falls under. And whenever you got a clear-cut list right there, I mean, I'm sure he found it the same way anybody else can. Go on Google and say, what determines a toxic relationship?
Yeah, don't go ask your
aunt, uncle. Don't go ask your homegirl, your homeboy.
Look up the facts.
Look up the facts. Don't go by what somebody else says. That's why a lot of relationships fail now, because they're going by what somebody else says. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I do it to you all the damn time.
That's right.
That's why.
That's right.
Last night on Riverside. Because I can't cut your ass off no more.
I know. I know.
I know.
You guys are gonna love the new platform.
You guys are gonna love the new platform.
But as long as I do, and as long as the
But
viewers
as long as I do, and
that's
as
all
long as
that
the viewers do, that's all that matters.
But that's some horse shit. But for real though, don't be so hasty to point the finger at the person across from you, because every time you point the finger at the person across from you, there's 3 of them pointing right back at you. So if you're pointing the finger, chances are you're doing something too. So like Tim said, look within yourself to see what's causing conflict with you before you start getting onto somebody else about what they're doing to bring the relationship down.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go over to Britt. What are some of your thoughts on hearing that, and even Ace's response?
I mean, I would be in agreement. Like, just going from past relationships, I've been on both sides, whether it was the recipient or the person that is being the toxic one. That's, yeah. I know we haven't heard all the list yet, but out of those, like, I can point out, like, jealousy. That's been in my past before, and that's come up from, past traumas and stuff that I've been through and things that I've been told. So that's had, I guess, a toxic outlook in the past.
Okay. All right. I mean, thank you. Definitely thank you for being honest. And listen, that is always tough. Because, and I know we talked about this on, I think it was the part 2 of this when we did this. When it is almost virtually impossible to do the old cardinal sin going into a new relationship, and that's bringing old baggage. It's almost nearly impossible. And it's I'm gonna say it's 100% impossible if you've never really dealt with it. If you've never really dealt with it, you've never recognized it, you've never truly really talked it out. It's hard. It's impossible. And then it becomes even those percentages go even higher when you don't actually talk to your partner about those things. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times that stuff comes up, and it only reason why it comes up in your current relationship is because you've never really fully actually dealt with it yourself. And so now your partner's paying for stuff that you have failed to do before either coming into that relationship, or at least telling your partner, hey, look, this is what's going on with me. This happened in my past. I think I'm over it, but at the same time, if this creeps up, I'm not making an excuse. I'm not saying that to excuse my behavior because this happened to me in the past. Just please understand and please help me through it. I honestly, I'm telling you right now, I just believe if you're actually able to talk to your partner, communicate with your partner, in that type of manner, it's the building block for really working through serious issues in your relationship down the road. But thank you for sharing with that, Britt. Tell you what, let's go over to Des, and then we'll go hit back up in New York.
I already knew I was toxic, so
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I have toxic tendencies. I will be the first one to tell you that.
And you know what, Des?
And
I'm gonna tell you something. Because you're so honest and everything. You know what I'm saying? The crowd just wants to, just.
are you done?
Almost. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Anyways, no, I already knew that I had toxic tendencies. And it's like, it's like Tim just said, it's not it's not excuses. You know, it's not like you can't always use this as an excuse, but it is shitty past. Like I have so much trauma built up that I try to work through every day. And, you know, I loved him to death. We've had this conversation. There's stuff that he still does that triggers stuff from my past. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here? And then my toxic side comes out. Jealousy is my biggest toxicity. Very, very, very super jealous. And they say, there's a saying that says you can only be jealous of something that you don't have. You're territorial over something that belongs to you. Not horseshit. Nope. Nope. Because I have not been with anybody that makes me as jealous as what he does. And sometimes it's not in a bad way. But I'm very toxic. So.
Hey, look, it's not my fault that my goods are in demand.
And on that note,
listen, no, I understand. Okay, trust me, I do. I get it. Now, this also once again goes back to number one, knowing yourself, and number two, knowing your partner. And the thing is, sometimes I don't know. No, because there's absolutely positively no way I'm going to be able to say this without it sounding horrible. And I don't want, even though I know what I'm trying to say, I don't want it to come out to the point where if someone who's listening to this, especially down the road, they take it the wrong way, because you can say something with the best of intentions, depending on what that person's mindset is at that point in time when they're hearing it, it's going to 100% determine whether they accept it or not. So maybe down the road of this conversation, while we're going through this episode, I can double back to it, because I'm pretty sure that thought's going to come back up, especially with some of the things we're going to be talking about. So I like I said, I just don't want to do it, but trust me, I get it and I understand. Yeah, let's go to live from New York. It's Saturday night. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. It's Pac-Man in the lane.
I honestly feel like you should just say it, because if you don't say it, he's probably going to say something close to it. So it might as well have said it.
I ain't gonna lie, yeah, we ain't sugarcoating
that's your problem, not mine.
Definitely, I'm definitely toxic. I definitely deal with toxic things, and I get what Des was saying, because it stems from your past, and it's hard to let those toxic things go when they're just reoccurring and reoccurring and reoccurring. So you're just like, okay, now what? Like, what are you gonna throw at me? Type of thing. But I throw some curveballs back. Probably that's most of my toxicity.
Now, before Pac-Man, before you comment, Pac-Man, I just want Elaine. I want to touch on this, and this goes along with kind of some of the things I was going to say and trying to say. Sometimes it's not even the fact that the person you're with is actually doing anything that's really triggering you being toxic and all that other stuff. Sometimes it's a feeling that's attached to something they do. Whatever they do may not even be the issue. It's just fact that it made you feel a certain way when it comes to that. Now, unfortunately, I hate saying this because I don't like I'm not picking on our women or anything, but unfortunately, that happens more with women than it ever will happen with men. Because women are emotional. We all know that. Men are logical thinkers. Now, I'm of the type where
is facts.
What?
Listen, no, not in a sense. He's not saying in a sense that like that's all y'all do. He's saying like in a logical standpoint, when it come down to it, in the basics of like psychology, that's what it is.
Okay, first of all, you prove my point.
Go ahead, my brother.
You completely missed what I was saying. You proved my point, because you reacted on emotion instead of saying, you know what, maybe I can see that point. You acted completely on emotion. Think about a lot of situations. I'm talking to Lane just now. I'm just talking to Lane right now. I want you to think about most situations you've been in where it was maybe not a big deal. And I'm not talking about in a relationship. I'm talking about anything in general. Think about anything in general you've gotten into where you end up getting into somebody, heated conversation or a fight or whatever, the original argument or the original problem wasn't even that big of a deal. But because you reacted to it emotionally instead of actually thinking about it first, you made it into a bigger deal than what it was.
I don't know. I can't relate. I think
I'm
what?
No, my fault,
No,
my
let me
fault, my
say,
fault,
let me
bro.
speak, because I really do have man mentality. Like,
I will agree with
I
that.
can,
I've known you
I
long
can
enough.
literally
will agree.
like, it is not that serious. We're gonna move past this because I don't want to fight with you. I don't care.
Yeah, but I've seen both sides.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and I know you can go 0 to 2,000 in not even 1.2 seconds.
Right.
Like a millisecond. So I've seen. What'd you say?
Zero lane.
0 to the other lane, back to that lane, back to this E lane. But no, but I mean, just like like Pac-Man was trying to help you understand and explaining. In general, that's basically how it is. And if you ask anybody, and to be honest with you, you and I are kind of on the same, and I think that's why we have that brother sister relationship. Is because we're kind of on the same wavelength. Where in majority of cases when we get in situations, majority of the time it's really not that big a deal. So I don't ever overreact. I don't try to ever overreact to certain situations because the first thing I'm doing is I'm assessing everything. Anything that's coming in, anything anybody's doing, whatever it is, I assess it. Okay. And it's not just because I was in the military. I was doing that long before then. I look at the situation and I think about it before I try to react to it. Just so I don't make sure I'm not misunderstanding something or this is that. For anybody else who's watching this, for the guys and our lovely ladies that are in this panel, honestly, be honest with yourself. How many more situations probably could have been avoided if on the female side, if you're on the female side, you hadn't reacted emotionally and you just looked at the situation and you reacted accordingly to that situation. And on the guy's side, how many situations could have been a lot better had you had a little bit more emotion in your reaction instead of being so logical? That's something I'm dealing with myself, with not trying to be so rational, trying to be so logical, and try to be a little bit more emotional, because I have a very bad problem of detaching my emotions and feelings from every situation, so that way I can react and think logically, and that sometimes causes a problem for me. And I'm a big enough man to admit that has been a problem for me in the past, and even currently, it has been a problem for me. I am definitely trying to work on it. I am definitely trying to get better at it, but sometimes it's a default set. Okay, you good?
And I also think, I'm peachy. I
God.
also think
it's peachy.
that
It's peachy, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nowadays, I think because women have been emotional, and now you're seeing where the men are the emotional crybabies, and we're just like, you know what? I don't even care. You want to do that? Go do that. Go ahead and go do that.
We're not going to get
Because
into
I've
that
already,
discussion. We're not going to get into that. No, we're not getting
now
into
the
that
women are the
discussion.
strong ones, and the men are the weak.
That sounds crazy.
Weak.
And I don't know
First
what
of all,
fuck you talking to. You ain't talking to me like that. But I'm gonna need you to relax.
Listen, we talking about relationships. You know, we're trying to bring stuff together. We ain't trying to tear nothing apart right now. Lord Jesus,
she's going crazy right now. Like, I don't know what we
I mean,
doing.
she was all up in your face. She was all up in your face too.
That's her favorite. That's her favorite. That's her favorite. Look, she doing it right now. She's like, wait till we get off this. Wait till we get.
But no, what you just said, Elaine, for real.
He's in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, I know he is. I already know. I'm in an abusive friendship with you. But what you just said that is a very growing hot topic, and I believe it's 100%. It's 100% a thing. But there's a lot more different reasons why that is a thing. Some of it's a part of the fault of the man, and some of it's the fault of the women. Why that is, like I said, we're not getting into that right now. That's not what this part of this is. This discussion, we can get in that at another time. Now, that might actually be a debate show, and I might actually have to call that one the Battle of the Sexes, because those topics right there those will be definitely a battle, because there's definitely going to be a difference of opinion for men and women. So yeah, we might do something like that, but not right now. Okay, Pac-Man, what do you have to say, brother?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's definitely both sides for me when it comes to toxicity. Like, I'm bipolar, so I
Me
can't
too.
really
Me too.
I can't really control it when it happens. So it'll be a time where I'm having like an extreme high and she not, you know what I'm saying, feeling it, you know what I'm saying, and I'll get upset, you know what I'm saying, because she not where I'm at, you know what I'm saying, or I'm having an extreme low and she's not there, so I'm, you know what I'm saying, and that
Yeah.
caused turmoil type, you know what I'm saying. So it's things like that. But when it comes to like the past and stuff like that, I done been through almost everything, you know what I'm saying. So seeing that and then dealing with or trying to assess the future, I'm never trying to live in the present, you know? And that's one of the real problems of like relationships. A lot of people don't really live, or a lot of people that want to build stuff, they're not living in the present, you know? They're too focused on the future. So when it comes to like the money spending or the relationship itself, you really looking like, oh, that's fine, you know what I'm saying? No, we don't need to do that. We can't do this right now because we got to do this. We got to do that, you know what I'm saying? But you don't really
Yeah.
know in the long run where you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? You don't
No.
know how long you got. So
So spend all your money.
see,
No, fool. That's
no,
not what that means.
no, that's
Oh Lord
like
Jesus.
you see what I'm saying? She don't help this now. But no, like realistically, like it's something that you really got to work on in the standpoint of you can't get upset if your partner or if the other person is living in the moment or living in the present if you're, you know what I'm saying, and you're not, you know. But it's also a certain way to help guide them and keep them in the present to where they don't go too far, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And I'm gonna take it one step further. Majority of the problem with most relationships, you have two people in a relationship, right? Well, generally, unless you live in Utah. But you have generally two people in a relationship, right? Oh God, I did. I damn it. You have two people in a relationship. Okay. Okay. So here's what usually happens: either one person is living in the past, and the other person is living in the future. But very rarely are they trying to live in the present together. Either one's constantly either dealing with things that either happened to themselves or within that relationship in the past, and the other one is looking to the future, and then sometimes that flip flops. If you're the person that was living in the past, now you may be the person that's living in the future and thinking about all the things you guys could do and what you should be doing, and this is that. And now the other person is looking in the past. Um, you have to. I understand. Sometimes the past happens and it's hard to get over, but sometimes you have to leave it where it's at, and that's in the past. You have to leave it behind you. And you can't be looking so far into the future that you completely and utterly are not present where you're at. So you have to learn how to balance that. If you have a moment where you're living in the past, talk it out. You know what I'm saying? If you can't talk it out, don't feel like talk, go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll hop on the Xbox. If I'm really dealing with something, majority of the time, and Des will tell you, if I'm not talking and I feel like I'm really dealing with something, a lot of times I'll be either in here in my office working on stuff for the podcast or I'm on my Xbox because I can't get out of my head. And I need to do something just to kind of just that has nothing to do with anything around me, and just kind of lose myself in a completely virtual environment. So that way I can try to just kind of just let stuff go. So that way I can get refocused, start thinking about things that needs to be done. Okay. We hit everybody, right? Right? No, Carrie. We didn't hit you, Mama Bear. Okay. See, I did better that time. All right, Mama Bear. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, um, first of all, I'm a little angel, so I don't know what he's talking about when it comes to Amazon.
First off,
Finally,
the fact you had to lead off with that lets me know you ain't no angel.
yeah, no, no, no angel. I have actually gone through a lot of that, but I've also been the toxic one. Me and me and him were talking last night, and I was letting him know. that I understand that it annoys him if I've spent too much time on Amazon. And I am doing part of that about looking to the future part because I'm trying to create my own line of perfumes that he's a partner of, but I let him know the reason why I do that is because I don't feel like I can contributing very much. I'm one that needs to keep my mind going, creating, um, and I know that's just an excuse. So I know that's the toxic part of me that he is actually helping me with, and I'm willing to listen. Now it's just getting him to open up and talk a little bit more. That'd be great. But
And that's where the money control comes in. Yeah.
I'm actually grateful because there have been a couple of times that even me as an accountant have sat there and overthought things, I'm not perfect.
Carrie, I'm not
But
laughing at you. It's just the fact that I know outside of you, I know 3 accountants that are like phenomenal. They're phenomenal at their job. But the funny thing is all 3 of them say the same thing. They're horrible when it comes to their own money sometimes.
no, they know where it's going.
Oh, they know where it's
It's
going. So
just
just, yeah.
they just yeah, they just they
That's
don't
just
care as much.
yeah, that's just funny to me because you said that, and I remember having that 3 separate conversations, and totally different times, and they've all said something similar to that. And I was like, wait a minute, you're an accountant though. But don't you think it'd be a little bit much? But you guys are phenomenal with other people's money.
Yeah, we're
Not mine.
yours.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. I'm made to think that way, you too.
yeah. On that note, we're gonna take a break and get a word from a sponsor, W Energy Drinks.
Hey, yo, I need some of the energy
Debbie
drinks,
is
man.
an
What's
energy
up?
drink you mix at home. Debbie is formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and neurotropics, including active neurofat. No calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. So if you need something to give you the energy to take on the world, Debbie Energy is what you need. Go to debbie.gg. That's DUBBY.GG. Use promo code Birdman Show for 10% off your orders. Tell them the Birdman sent you.
Hey yo, it's your boy, it's the Birdman. We're back here on the Birdman Show. You already know what to do. Do it with me one time. That is right. We are back on the Birdman Show, and I'm gonna tell you right now, with the way this episode started off, I was laughing and crying all at the same time. We were having some serious technical difficulty. Yeah, I'm having oh, you know what? God, good God Almighty, Riverside, y'all already gave me a stroke. Anyways, we are back on this episode of the Birdman Show. We are talking some real talk with our discussion panelists, and we're talking about relationships. We dive a little bit more into it. We hit it hard again, coming out the gates. So, guys, how are we doing so far with how we're going so far with this episode? Britt, let's start with you real quick. Okay. Outstanding. Des, how you doing over there with all this?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm doing a lot of self-reflecting. So,
Okay. That actually sounded sincere. There was a little hint of sarcasm in there. at first.
Nope.
But
Nope.
that actually ended up sounding very sincere. That's outstanding. Outstanding. I'm very, very proud of you. Okay.
Trying to figure out if thank you. Self-reflecting is to find out if some of the stuff I deal with is stuff I need to continue to deal with, or just cut my losses and continue on with my married life.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll let you know when it's time to cut your losses.
Uh-huh.
But moving right along. Let's jump up there to New York. Elaine, Pac-Man, how you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Excellente.
No,
He
you
will
say
also
you're
tell me when it's time to cut my losses, he said.
okay. I'm about to say you say you're doing great. Let him speak for himself. You keep talking about
Yeah.
we're doing great.
No,
He's
yeah.
doing just fine.
I'm
Oh.
as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm not doing good. No, it's a problem that's going on and it's going on in this country. We need to figure it out.
Oh my God.
No, I'm doing good, man. I appreciate y'all.
Oh God, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Mama Bear, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great, thanks.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Ace, what's going on, bro?
I'm I'm kind of confused on something, Birdman. I'm kind of confused.
Yeah. What on the fact that I just had a stroke like there, right? Coming on this intro. Ugh.
No, the fact that Pac-Man don't know when to shut up.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I didn't know. Listen, I'm new
He
to
said
this.
we're gonna let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Yeah, I thought
First of all,
someone said
that's
I
Elaine.
didn't.
Why?
I
What's
apologize.
with
I
the
apologize.
dudes constantly trying to interrupt each other? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I thought when the sponsors hit, then we can like talk amongst ourselves. You know, like in the late night shows when they be like, "All right, well, we on a commercial break," and they be like,
Now I
like
will
that's
say this. I will say this, Pac-Man, on my old platform, that actually did happen. Like that
right.
would actually
Okay,
happen.
all
Like on
right.
my old platform, like as soon as I put on a commercial, it would mute everybody. But
Okay,
with this one, it doesn't. So you
yeah.
just have to remember to mute yourself. But seriously, you need to get hooked. You need to get hooked up on those energy drinks, man. They're
Yo,
awesome.
that's a fact. I
I've
seen them. They look good.
right now this the one main one I'm messing with right now.
Oh, the
This one
cream,
is the
the orange cream.
beach. Yeah, the beach and cream or beach and peach. It is
Peach and
phenomenal.
peach.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like 2 scoops. I put like 16 ounces of water in there, and that bad boy lasts me all day. And I don't have there's like you don't come down off of it. It's not like any other energy drink that I've had
I
before.
like that.
So it's really good. Like I said, go check it out. Use the promo code Birdman, the Birdman Show. You get 10% off. So
Yeah,
definitely
my
go check
fault,
it
man.
out.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. It's okay. It's okay. You're new. It's okay. It's okay. Also, it's partly my fault because I should have reminded everybody when commercials come on, mute your mics. Okay. Anyways, got everybody on the okay. Got everybody on the okay. So I want to do what I want to do is I want to touch on just 3 more of the things that we had on the list because these 3 things kind of really kind of play into some of the other things we're going to talk about. But the one thing I want to talk about because another thing they mentioned on the list is you don't feel safe. So like in a toxic relationship, so that can be kind of toxic, abusive type relationships. But the main thing I really wanted to talk about with this one, and maybe this is the only one we're going to hit, and we'll move on. But you have bad or non-existent communication. Bad or non-existent communication is considered part of being in a toxic relationship. Now, I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to ask this question. Here's the question. Why would you think, if you've never thought of it in this way, why would you think not bad or non-existent communication would be considered being in a toxic relationship or part of a toxic relationship? Let's start with Ace on this one.
Good. Now everybody has to follow up after me. Bing, bing. Bing, bing. All right.
Oh God.
The reason the reason why having bad or non-existent communication can be considered a toxic relationship is because if you're not talking about what the problems are, then you're not trying to fix them. If there is something that you have going on that is causing a toxic relationship and you're not discussing it, then how do you expect to get past it?
Very good. Very well put. Very well put. Let's see. Britt, what are your thoughts on that? Mm. Mm. Hey, I'm just glad you're the first person to use habitual. I love that. Good job. Good job. Let's go up to
No. No, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
yeah. Let's go up to Pac-Man Lane.
I totally agree with what Britt said, because if you're not communicating it, I am also an overthinker. I'm going to think of what could happen, what did happen, what probably might have happened, and
it's always the worst.
yes, most of the time it's always the worst.
Oh, we
Because I
know,
want to be
because
prepared for it.
like you said last time. What if my face burns off?
The craziest shit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
But what if?
Like
you could spontaneously combust like that. What
like,
if?
I'm like, wow, that turned left real quick.
But you're
yeah.
like, overthinkers prepare themselves for the worst to happen. Like, so we're set on it. It's not going to take us by surprise. So if we're not communicating about it, I'm playing it over in my head and over and over. And each time I'm playing it over, I'm going to find something new about it, and it's going to be bad.
See, but the thing about overthinkers is they're like the superstitious type. They're like the equivalent of a superstitious person. So like step on a crack, break your mom's back, like, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So 24/7, anything that's out of the ordinary, they're thinking of the worst, you know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna happen, or this is probably happening right now. And that's not always the case. And sometimes it's okay to just accept that, okay, this might be this. It's not even what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to not think so heavy about, or it's okay to not get too deep into it, you know?
I'm gonna be
That's
honest
why
with
you have to communicate.
you. If you're not an overthinker, I don't know that I trust you.
Nah, that's why.
I mean, that right there tells me that you're not putting enough thought into what's going on
Mm-hmm.
2 + 2 is 4.
to be able to come to a rational decision on what needs to happen.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
man.
Now who's habitual?
Oh, there it is. Nah, but no,
You
I
have to
mean,
use
yeah.
habitual just because Birdman praised Brick
Gotta
again.
get them
Paying
points
Good
up.
job. Good job, Mama Bear. Good job, Mama Bear. Good job. Good job. Listen, here's what I'll say to that. And then we'll go Mama Bear, and then we'll finish up with Dez on this. Here's what I'll say on that. People could probably consider me as an overthinker. Because if you go by that definition that was just given, I can be considered an overthinker, but I'm really not. I view life, and I learned this very early on in age, but I view life as a game. And the game that I play is chess. Now, in chess, you have to think several moves ahead of your opponent. Whoever it is or whatever the situation is, you have to think several moves ahead. And there are times that I've played chess with people where I've thought 15 almost up to 15 moves ahead of what they do just based off of how they react to a move I make. And I know that I know from that point in time, I have X amount of moves where I can beat this person. And it's not the fact that I'm overthinking it. It's just the fact that I think I'm more aware of the situation. This is why most cases, Dez, even Ace can tell you, for most people that know me, when I first meet somebody, like when there's a guy and I'm going somewhere, especially just when to go meet some people she knows and I don't really know them, I don't really say a whole lot at first. Because the first thing I'm doing, what I'm doing is I'm number one, I'm looking at, everybody, I'm assessing the situation, and I'm paying attention because everybody knows I have a very twisted sense of humor. And I find comedy in a lot of different things. Not everybody understands that type of comedy. And I don't share that type of comedy with everybody. Because there's some people can take that comedy I have and they may try to use it in a different way, which could cause issues. So I watch people a lot. I didn't mean for that to sound like I was a stalker, but I pay attention a lot. Let me change the wording on that. I pay attention a lot. But like I said, when it comes to most things, I think, several things. When the situation comes up, I think of all the different possibilities that it can go right, just as much as I think about all the possibilities if it can go wrong. And I think if you're not doing that, then you are setting yourself up for a very bad fall in whatever situation, whether it's a relationship or anything else. If you're not thinking, you want to always, like they taught us in the military, you plan for the worst, but you hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? You're preparing yourself for both outcomes, but you really want the best outcome. But just in case the worst happens, you're prepared for it. And I think you really should do that, even in a relationship. You don't go into a relationship wanting it to fail. You know what I'm saying? If you are, then you need to stop. But you go into a relationship hoping that everything's going to work out just fine. But you also know that things happen. Life happens. People change. Whatever the situation, things happen. So you should be. You know what I'm saying? But overthinkers, the ones that are like that, it's. I think they're obsessed with negative outcomes. Because there's not very many overthinkers. You'll hear overthinkers that are overthinking positive. They're overthinking negative. So it's almost like they're obsessed with negativity. And you have to be very careful about that. Classifying overthinking as you're just a negative person and you look at everything negatively. Let's just be honest and call it what it is. Mama Bear, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, overthinking is, I guess, a very consistent trait with every single person in this panel. Except for one. Except for one. That's right, except for one. And, he made himself very clear that he wasn't.
Just to clear the air, I don't overthink. I psychoanalyze.
What's the difference?
Because my psychoanalyzation is not negative thinking.
And second of all, just to be clear, if you have to come in and say, just so I can be clear, I'm not. Continue, Mama Bear, continue.
I'm not a very negative person, but I am an overthinker. And I am one of those overthinkers that basically, like I told him last night, I talk around it. I try to explain myself in many different ways just to prove my point, because I have been through so many different scenarios where I've had to explain it in different ways for certain people, whereas he is very blunt, straightforward, and it's hard for me. That's where communication comes into the deal. With me, when I get very emotional, all the thoughts come rushing straight forward all at once, And like for some, it's easier for you to either write or text out what you're really feeling because you don't want to sit there like a blubbering idiot and sit there and blah, 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 trying to explain yourself. And when you're emotional, that's even more heightened. So communication, you got to understand the other person has been through enough too, so it's not just you that's gone through something. So you got to learn to communicate with each other. And if you're both overthinkers, there you have it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun show right there. Des, what are your thoughts on this?
Communication is key. Tim had mentioned, if you have bad or non-existent communication, and he's said it before, and he'll be the one to tell you again. I am horrible at it. That is my biggest flaw, is communication, because I've been in situations where when I try to express my feelings or try to communicate, it has been thrown back at me. I have been made to feel like what I say doesn't matter. Or I get faulted for how I feel. So communication is a really hard thing for me. And, like Carrie just said, uh, and that is one of them. And Tim will tell you, if it's something really important or something that's really bothering me, I will text it to him, because even though we've been together for so long and I am getting a little bit better at communicating, there's still that fear that I'm not going to be made to feel valid on what I have to discuss with him. So I do it through a text message. Worst part about text messages, they can be misconstrued. Somebody can text out something and they mean it in a simple manner, but the person reading it takes it as something completely different, which starts a whole new set of things. So communication is key if you want I guess you could say, progressive relationship, a growing relationship.
Well, I'll say this. And the thing about text messages, I agree and disagree with you. As far as they can be misread. 9 times out of 10, it's not that somebody's misreading a text message. They already feel a certain type of way. Now, whether they're already emotional about it when they're reading it, like maybe they're in a bad mood already, or maybe they're just in a different type of way, whatever the case is. A lot of times what it is that when you're feeling combative already, and then somebody texts you something and they're trying not to, and you're doing, like you said, you're doing your best not to make it sound like that. You got to remember, they're reading it in their head. So their head's already angry, or it's already feeling that type of way that they're reading it. So that's how it sounds to them when they read it. That's why I always tell people, either talk to that person face to face or call them on the phone. If anything, if you have to, because for those who got iPhones, you can leave a voice message. You can text a voice recording within the text message. Do that if it's one of those type of things. Now, for me, and I'm only speaking for me, I'm different, because the reason why I say that is because I don't read text messages with any type. I don't care if I'm upset. And we've had this thing. The majority of the time, like if she texts you upset, and let's say we're upset about each other, when I respond, I don't respond. I'm hoping that she reads it like that. I don't respond angrily. I don't respond upset. I answer whatever the thing is, whatever the question is, whatever topic we're talking about, and then I respond to it, on my side, how I'm perceiving the situation, how I feel about the situation, whatever it is, and that's how I respond. I don't respond with any type of real emotion with it, and I hate saying it like that, because then it sounds like I don't care, but I don't put emotion into it, to try to avoid that, because If you're texting, once again, like I said, I understand people are going to read it how they feel, not how it's actually being said. So that's why I say you always have to be careful when it comes to text messaging and stuff like that. And to her point, but that also goes with knowing your freaking partner. I mean, I don't know how many times we have to say this. You know, you should know, but at some point in time, you should know if you're honestly paying attention and you're honestly having these open dialogues and conversations on a regular basis. You should know exactly when they text something. You should already know how they're actually feeling. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of the problem. Most couples, they don't know each other. And sometimes when you think you know each other, you still don't know each other. I don't know how many times you guys have heard older couples have been married for 50, 60, 70 years. And one of them say, hey, look, we've been together since the Great Depression. And I still don't know everything about this person. And it's like, dang, you've been together for 85 years and you still don't know. What are y'all doing? Like, what is going on? But all that means is that sometimes they still surprise them. That's all it is. That's all that really means. When it's like they know pretty much everything about the person, but every once in a while they do something that they didn't expect, and it surprises them. So they say, you know what, I've been with this person this X amount of time, and I still don't know everything about them. It's because they surprise each other from time to time. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take another quick commercial break. Commercial break, meaning Pac-Man, mute the mic. We're gonna take another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of the Birdman Show. Hey, it's the Birdman here, and I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? If so, have you heard about Spotify for Podcasters and why it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place? Allow me to explain. Spotify for Podcasters has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone, tablet, or computer. And when hosting on Spotify for Podcasters, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. It's really everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And the best thing about it, it's totally free. So what are you waiting for? Go to podcasters.spotify.com to get started. And just tell them a little birdie told you. A Birdman, that is. Yo, what is up? This is the Birdman Show. I'm your boy, the Birdman. Come on now, you should know by now. Do it with me one time. That is right. We're back here on the Birdman Show. We're still rocking and rolling with our real talk discussion panel. I've got some lovely people on here. We're talking some stuff. We're talking real talk. That's what we doing. All right, that's what we about. We're still waiting. I don't know if Anthony's gonna be able to join us on this episode. Definitely miss him, but we're still carrying on and we're still doing the thing. Guys, how are you doing so far? With some of the stuff we've been talking about. Let's go around the room real quick. Ace, bless us.
You are blessed, my son.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I'm ready to get it over. Like I said before, start new next week.
I know. I'm right there with you. I mean, only because I know we got some very exciting topics coming up. One of which I'm going to talk a little bit more at the end of this episode. But I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm right there with you. But I am enjoying this very, very much. Des, how you holding up?
Doing great. Still trucking along.
Thank you with your Samuel answers.
You're welcome. Hey, brother, you notice how he's picked on you like the last 3 rounds, right? He's made you go first the last like 3 questions.
Well, nothing. That's 3 questions.
I'm okay with that because I hate feeling pressured to come up with something new after everybody else talks. Because then I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah, well, I agree with everybody else.
Yeah. We're in agreements already. Jesus, you guys took all 5 of my points I had to say. But it is what it is. But no, that's good. That's good. Let's go to Elaine and Pac-Man up there in New York. Empire State of Mind.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man.
We're doing fabulous.
Fabuloso. Excelente.
Oh, I do not know what I'm gonna do with you two. Jiminy Christmas. All right, Mama Bear, how you doing?
I agree with everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
doing
great.
great.
Yeah, we just keep discovering new things with these iPhones and everything on certain platforms. That's pretty cool. Brett, talk to me. You're good. You're good. I didn't get a chance to ask you how's Matthew doing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
Yes.
I said how's Matthew doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's down there, or she's up there in Indiana, all upset and butthurt because she doesn't get all the little extras that the iPhone has to offer.
I thought you had an iPhone. You don't have an iPhone?
But it doesn't do it for her.
It did it for you. It did it for you that one time. I could have sworn it did that for you on that one. You can't be moving around like that, Elaine. You got to stay still, for crying out loud. Oh, what are you doing? You know what? That's not this type of show. If you want to do that, go to OnlyFans. Okay, everybody's doing great.
On a fit, Elaine, like thrusting your hand at the camera.
Because you have to be so close to it.
It's not
it did it for
that
you.
That is a heart shape.
No,
there it is.
Good.
Oh.
There they go. They fluttered away, and you didn't even notice them.
Oh,
whatever.
For the love of God, for the love of God, I'm not today. Okay, let's move this along. All right, so let's talk about something that I think sometimes is a big issue in relationships, especially if you're not having this conversation when you go into this relationship. I want to talk about really, I guess, 4 things. Well, one thing that encompasses these other 3 parts. We're going to talk about roles in relationship. Okay, and in particularly, because we've already touched on the communication part. So I'm going to ask you, number one, because I hear this question a lot, especially now, because people still have no idea what this actually really means. What do you bring to the table? And let's talk about what you bring to the table, and let's talk about finances. Okay, what you bring to the table, finances usually in general go hand in hand because most people, that's what they equate to. I don't, but we're about to find out what everybody else thinks. Okay, so when we talk about roles in relationship, first of all, what does that mean to you? Let's matter of fact, let's start with the 2 on camera right now. Let's go. They're having their own jolly little conversation over there.
I'm sorry.
We were talking about what I bring to the table.
And you kept shaking your head. No. So he's like, I don't bring nothing to the table. Like, I brought napkins. You know what I'm saying? I thought I brought some
close to what she was saying. That's crazy.
Like I bring Tupperware to the table.
I was kidding.
I brought some Tupperware to the table. What you eating?
I bring the damn table.
Whoa! Oh,
okay.
That's wild.
Okay,
I bring the damn table.
That's bold right
there. Hey, look! I'm thousands of miles away from you, baby girl. I can't be playing referee on the podcast. Now I can't be playing referee. I got a referee shirt out there too, man.
Just let me know.
I got the whistle. Throw the flag on the plate.
That's the man
Okay.
right there.
Okay. So let's start with you, Elaine. When you hear that, okay, first of all, when you hear that, what comes to your mind when you talk about roles in relationship? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about that?
When I think about roles of the relationship,
Yeah,
I
or
think they
roles
should
within a relationship.
all the relationship roles should be unisex. I think it should be everyone brings everything to the table, not just one bringing something and the other one bringing something too. Right? Partnership.
Okay.
That's
All right. Now I'm asking
nice.
this question before
That was nice.
before we move on. I'm gonna ask you this question though. Okay. I agree with you. Okay. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. Pac-Man, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
When it comes to the roles,
Yes.
in a realistic standpoint, like, yeah, everybody should contribute evenly. You know what I'm saying? Like in a realistic adult standpoint, But
Okay.
it's not always utopia. So somebody always has to make sure that in any case anything can happen. So you can always be able to pick that person up, or that person will pick you up. So it's not really if I don't got it, I ain't got it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you if you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? You got it if I ain't got it, So
Okay.
Whatever you can't bring, I'll bring.
Yeah.
Like we're going on a picnic.
Right.
Hey, look, I ain't. Hey, y'all fix y'all relationship off the camera. Yeah, y'all work on that off the camera. I'm trying to be joining in on y'all conversation. Good God.
Yeah.
Mama Bear. Let's hear from you. What is your thoughts when you hear about the when you hear the roles of a relationship or within a relationship? What comes to mind?
Well, I do agree with them, but I'm a little bit more old-fashioned.
Okay.
Um, for me, I believe that the man is the protector, the main provider, the head of household. The woman is his partner, especially nowadays with finances, have to work together to provide. But she's also the nurturer, the caregiver, the one that helps with what the man is unable to help with. I mean, you stated earlier, man has a more logistical way of thinking, and the woman has a lot more emotions behind it. So y'all are more or less the disciplinarians when it comes to the children, and the women are the ones that kisses the boo boo on the knee. It's just something like that, basically.
Okay. All right. All right.
Both roles deserve equal respect.
I like it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Brett, are you stuffing your face right now, ma'am? Do you drink some water before you continue? I'm just saying because you just kind of you had a dry swallow there. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Outstanding. You can continue eating now. Um. Oh God! All right, Dez, let's go over to you.
Before you start, you see what he did? You see what he did? You brought
Yeah,
it to
he
his.
skipped you though.
Now I'm fucking last.
We're just trying to
Um,
switch it up.
so I would have to in so my personal opinion,
Okay.
I would have to agree with both sides. I don't think that there should be an actual role in a relationship. Yes, it has been brought out that the man is supposed to be the tougher of the two, so they're supposed to be the protector. But who protects the man when he's hurting, when something's happening with him? That's where the female steps in and has to become the protector of the man. A man can only protect so much. They can't always protect themselves from things, especially if they deal with, PTSD or anything else. They can't always protect themselves from all of that stuff. The female, again, like Britt said, 100. I work. I pay my own bills. Tim pays his own bills. When he don't have it and I have it, we flip flop. We help each other out. As far as the female, if a female has a role, as they call them, I, make sure your man stay fed to where you know where he stay. That's all I gotta say.
He is a grown ass man. He can feed himself.
Okay, and then when I feed myself,
Because
then
what?
Then what?
What? No. Sorry, I'm gonna tune out again. Sorry.
Thank you. Listen, this is a podcast, okay? It's the Birdman Show. This is not UFC. This ain't fight night, all right? So I'm gonna need you to tone it down over there, Mike Tyson. Anyways, Ace, brother man, what you got, man?
That ain't no Mike Tyson. That's more of a Sugar Ray Leonard. But I am the man. I bring in the money.
Not all of it.
Let me finish, woman. I am the man. I bring in the money. You feed me. That's how it works.
Okay.
That is how most men look at a relationship nowadays.
Yes, she did. She did.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
That's how most men look at a relationship.
Yes,
All right,
I know what you did there. I know what you did there. Basically, what all Ace did when he started off with that was just that's how most of the time that's exactly what is going through a relationship, especially when you have people talking about that. And then he finished it up with that's how most men think in a relationship. It's not necessarily how he thinks.
No, Sugar Ray Leonard. Are you listening? Now, yes, he is a grown ass man. And he can feed himself. But my turn. But I'm not saying that you have to be his mother and provide for him. But in a relationship, you have to eat. If you're feeding yourself, you might as well make enough for two.
Now,
I'm not sure. Not sure.
What you got, Brett?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Brett.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Brett. Go ahead, Brett, because I could piggyback off of it.
Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't finished.
Disagree.
Sympathize. And
Yeah.
see,
Okay.
where I was going to finish that up was the only reason why I pointed fingers at you is because you're the one that said he's a grown ass man. He can feed himself. It
Yeah,
goes
man.
both ways. Where the hell did you
Oh,
go? It goes both
turned the
ways.
camera
I
off so
pushed the
she
wrong
can
button.
smack him real quick.
It goes
Nah,
both
that's
I
ways.
see
crazy.
what you done started, punk.
It's not necessarily that the woman has to take care of the man whenever it comes to fixing dinner or making sure that the house is clean or the kids are fucking taken care of. It's like we've said this entire time. In a relationship, it is 100 and 100. If you're not bringing 100% to the table, then there might as well not even be a table because you guys aren't meeting in the same place. Whenever it comes to providing for your partner, if you're going to feed yourself, make enough for two because you're not the only one in the house that needs to eat. And that's not saying that the woman's the one that's making the food or the man's the one that's making the food. Whoever's making the food, make sure you think about your partner whenever you're making it.
I'm getting hungry. I ain't gonna lie.
I ate before the show, so I'm good. Brett, were you
What's
about to
up?
say something? Oh, okay. Well, I saw you were unmuted, so I didn't know if you were about to say something. Then she quickly muted herself. Okay. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. Pac-Man, have you already responded?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
So, go ahead. Go ahead, Mom Bird.
I do have to make a valid point though. Some people, I mean, I was raised that way for the traditional ways of things, but I was a single mom for many of my adult years. And I actually had to be on both sides. I had to be the mom and the dad in the relationship. So I can understand where losing some of that control is really hard. But if you really want a relationship to work, you got to relinquish some of it because you got to work together. You got to give each other 100%. I just wanted to sit there and throw out for all the single parents out there, y'all are thought of too because your relationship, you're the parent to children, the next generation. That in itself is a relationship. You got to be able to give that relationship your all is like you would between partners, you know? So you got to give yourself the same kind of respect you would to a partner in a co-parent house. I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
No, you're good. Here's what I'll say. I'm gonna start off by saying this. Okay, so to me, in a lot of this, when we talk about roles, now I'm an old school thinker when it comes to this, but I have new school. Well, I'm old school ways, but I have new school thinking. Meaning I honor the old school ways as far as how relationships were back then, because let's be honest, I don't care who you are, unless you've been with the same person for 20 plus years, you really are limited in this conversation when it comes to what you think a successful relationship actually really is. So first get that understanding. That being said, adapt. Okay. First of all, you have to figure out what works for you and your partner. That's just bottom line. Okay. It's not one person within this. Going to, I think, something that Elaine has said. Okay. So kind of going with what Elaine said, because that's something that needs to be expounded on, because even though what she said was totally funny, about him being a grown man kicking his own beat, which is understandable. It's good and it's cool. But I think there's a misconception, because in what Elaine said, I hear something else that comes off from what a lot of other women say. I'm not his mom. You know what I'm saying? If he wants that, he can go be with his mom and stuff like that. Okay. here's the difference, okay? If you really look at what a mother does, she makes sure that the household is taken care of. It's not that she's trying to be his mother or doing anything. She's just making sure he's taken care of. And I think with some women, especially in today's age, that's where it's getting lost. They're viewing it as being a mother when you're actually just being his woman. Because a woman is supposed to take care of the man. You know, if you want to look at it biblically, you know, when you look at the order of things, it's God, it's man, then it's woman. Okay? A woman honors God by honoring her man. A man honors his wife by honoring God first, putting God first, because that's how the order of things work. Okay? If you just talk about if you're looking at it in the order of how it should be in a household, yes, traditionally the man is supposed to be the provider and the protector. Okay, and most women, that's what most women want, right? But then we've been at the same breath to get women that want to scream about, well, I'm independent, I'm a boss chick, I can do this, I can do that, but then scream about things, then want to scream and cry about a man being the provider when it comes to paying the check, when it comes to paying for stuff in the house. What happened to the equality stuff? What happened to you being a boss chick? What happened to you being so independent? It has to be one way or the other. You want to be a boss chick? If we're talking about females, you want to be a boss chick? Fine, be a boss chick. Be by yourself though. If you want an actual traditional man, because you can't have traditional things, but have a new school mentality. Like I said, I have old school ways about me, but I do have new school thinking. But I combine them. Okay, and I try to make it work for whatever situation, whatever relationship I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I do that with Dez. You know what I'm saying? I'm always been a firm believer. I have never, ever, ever believed in or wanted a stay-at-home wife. Never. I've never wanted that. Because why should I be the only one working myself to the bone trying to provide for the family when we both can do it? When we both can take the pressure off each other. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be. Britt said it. She said it many times before. I know we've all piggybacked off of that. 100, 100. That's how it should always be. It shouldn't be 50-50 because that means you're leaving something in reserve in the tank because like you see, like we're seeing, I don't know if some of y'all have seen it, but like these TikToks where you see, and I hate saying it because that's what it is, but you get in a lot of these situations where these women are saying, oh, I'm putting money back in case for a rainy day, and they're taking money out of their husband's account. Money that's supposed to be going to the family, putting in their own account. So you're taking out what's supposed to be building our family so you can make sure that you're taken care of in case. See, that's not how it works. If it's going to be one of those things where if you're going to say, okay, we're going to do this together, like Dez gave the perfect example. Like if I'm struggling at some point in time and she's got the money to do something, she does it. If she's struggling at some point in time and I got the money to do it, I do it. There's not even a conversation. It's just, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming up short on this. I ain't got the money. How much you need? All right, bet. Get on the phone, Apple Pay, Zelle it, Google, whatever the thing is, you get the money. It's not even a conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, well, I'm spending all my money on this and this. No, it's not a conversation. There should be, and like I think Mama Bear said that about the nurturing part and the roles as far as men being the disciplinarian. Even in that, I think those roles should be shared. It should not be always the man who's doing all the discipline. Women have got to learn how to truly discipline. And Des is sitting on here. I have gotten on to her about how discipline, when you're talking about doing your daughter or your son or whoever it is, you can't keep saying stuff that you're not going to do. You can't. Because what they've got, because what she hasn't what she understands now, but what she wasn't understanding before, how you discipline your child is almost, I can almost guarantee that's exactly how they're going to act in a relationship when they get into it. Or that's exactly what they're going to accept from their partner when they get into a relationship. If you're telling your child, I'm going to ground you, or I'm going to spank you, I'm going to do this and that, and you don't do it, or you ground them, and then 5 minutes later, you let them off their grounding or their punishment, so you guys can go do something. You're basically telling them, hey, yeah, you can mess up, but I'm really not going to do anything. I'm not gonna like stay mad at you like I said I was going to. I'm just gonna let it go. And sometimes a lot of times that's what happens in relationships as kids get older. They take those, not the relationship they see, not always the relationship they see with mom and dad. Sometimes it's the relationship they have with the individual parent and how they react and how they respond to things. And that's what they carry over into relationships when they get into relationships where they're being treated bad, but they don't leave, and they're always forgiving that person, even though they're 100% they're 100% in a toxic relationship. They're 100% in an abusive relationship, but that's what they're used to. That's what they grew up seeing. And it's not, and when I talk about abusive relationships, I've seen people who've been in abusive relationships, never been around that, or been around an abusive relationship. Their parents weren't abusive towards each other. They have never had anybody in their family abusive to each other, but because of how the interaction was between the family and how they accepted things that people did, they found themselves in an abusive relationship because they couldn't recognize what toxicity was. They couldn't recognize what a toxic relationship was because that's all they've seen is a toxic relationship. And that's because the person that was teaching them that didn't know they were teaching them that, didn't realize they were toxic or in a toxic relationship themselves, or in a toxic relationship with their children. I do believe there needs to be clear defined roles within a relationship. I honestly do believe there needs to be clear defined roles. Now, I'm not saying, okay, I'm the man, okay, so whatever I say goes, or I'm the man, I'm making the most money, so we're gonna do this my way. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there needs to be clear defined roles when it comes to certain things, to where you protect each other. Or sometimes he takes the lead. Sometimes because of whatever the situation is, you let her take the lead. You learn how to lead, and the best way to learn how to lead is to follow. Okay, because there's, like I said, I defer to Des when it comes to a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to anything that has to do with anything emotional, to where I have to connect an emotion to a situation. I talk to her the most about it because I still don't know how to do that all the way. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to stuff where you really just need to kind of detach yourself from something, and you just need to do something and go, she defers to me quite a bit because I can do that real quick. I can cut you off. I can talk to you. 5 minutes later, you ain't on none of my social or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I have no problem telling somebody bye. I don't care. I don't care if it's a family member. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care who you are. If, like my grandma used to say, once respect is no longer being served at the dinner table, honey, it's time to get up. Time to push that plate back, scoot that seat out, put your napkin on the table, and walk away. Okay, because respect goes a long way. Respect is a big thing. How much? What time is it? What we got? Oh, we're at 8:00. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Even with the couple topics we have left, it's I don't know. I don't even know. Honestly, don't even know if we really need to hit those. I mean, they can be something we can hit, but I honestly think with what we've just been talking about, if people honestly look at this, they truly listen, they truly reevaluate themselves, I think there could be a lot of growth in a relationship. I know, like, even with Des and I, I've seen and felt a lot of growth even since we started doing this discussion panel. So I can say safely, just by listening to all y'all, I felt like I've grown. So let's go around real quick. We're gonna start with Ace because I know we need to get him off here so he can get started on his trivia on TikTok. Ace, just what I want you to do, I want you to give your closing remarks, and then for those who are watching this and who will be watching this later, let them know what's going on right after the podcast and where they can find you at for trivia night.
Absolutely. My closing remarks are going to be this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Whenever you're going into a relationship, make sure make sure that you're open and honest with the person that you are committing to a relationship with. Because if they don't know what they're getting themselves into and you don't know what you're getting yourselves into, then how can you guys actually have a fruitful relationship if it's based off of half truths and lies? Make sure that, like Tim said, if you're bringing baggage into the relationship, it's baggage that you're willing to open up with your partner. Because if you're bringing baggage into a relationship that you're just going to carry around with you for the rest of your life, if you're not willing to talk to the person that you're with about it, then that's all it is. It's just baggage. It's something that's controlling you that you are just going to pack in the fucking closet whenever you move into your new house and just leave it there. Either leave it in the past or bring it up and work through it. And as far as where you guys can find me at, after the live every Wednesday night on TikTok, we do trivia, and that is from 8 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central. And if you look for TLB-ACE, just send me a follow and come join the live, because it's always a couple of hours of just taking whatever bullshit you've gone through for the last week and just pushing it aside for at least 2 hours and just having a good time. So hope to see you guys out there, and good to see you guys joining in already. So that's all I got.
That's right. Tyler Perry for the win. Let's let's go over to Mama Bear real quick. So that way, if you want to, you can go ahead and get on the trivia night live on TikTok as well.
Okay, well, you're going to hear him in the background because he's saying hi to the family members in there.
We always hear him in the background, so it doesn't really matter.
True, very true. Like he was saying, you got to bring your all when you're coming into a relationship. But the first things first, the wise Miss Desiree has mentioned is love yourself first before you even think about going into a relationship. If anything, just know what you are wanting, know what you can bring, and just know that no matter what, you're a great person, no matter what you choose, whether you choose to stay solo or whether you choose to be in a relationship. No matter what, you're an amazing person. So thank y'all for letting me come on here. I appreciate it. Love yourself.
No. We appreciate you. All right. Let's Elaine's over here still giving them thumbs up, and yeah, love the hearts. Are you eating right now, Elaine? Oh, see, yeah. Tell me you black without telling me you black. Or put the Vaseline on the lips. I love you, girl. You know I love you. I'm just playing with you. But let's go ahead and hit New York real quick. Y'all give y'all closing remarks for me.
What
please.
you got to say?
Nah, like for the most part, man, yeah, they pretty much said everything. Like before you start any relationship, you gotta know yourself and love yourself first. Like you can't expect a motherfucker to change. My fault. You can't expect a person to change because you've been through something and you don't know what they've been through. You know what I'm saying? So acknowledge the situation, see what it is, move on from what you have, and let them move on from what they have before you try and force them to get through something. You know what I'm saying? And just try and build, communicate, and make something great with each other if that's what y'all really want to
do. Okay. I like that. What you got, Elaine?
Start off with a clean slate.
Boom, roasted.
No, for real though.
No, that's a fact.
Give that new person, clean off that whiteboard and start all over.
Yeah.
She's talking about using the dry erase spray.
Yeah, not just the tissue. You got to clean it
Using the
off.
red. No, we want to use a towel. Don't do no tissue, no towel paper, no towel paper.
Gotta
No,
use
no. Yeah,
that Mr. Clean magic eraser.
yeah. Get it all off. I don't want no residue on that bad boy at all. Just get it all off. Let's get it all off. Des, let's go to you. What are your closing thoughts?
Sorry, I was watching Brian's live.
Wow.
Hey, I gotta support both, man. I gotta.
I guess you. I'm trying to. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
Okay.
get this
Anyway,
done.
switch face. Closing remarks. This has been a. Word of baby Jesus.
They were booing you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Good gravy. This has been a big eye opener. I swear to God, I will shut it off. This has been a very big eye opener to me. Like I had said earlier, a lot of self-reflecting. Probably still a lot more self-reflecting that I need to do for myself. Different things that I need to work on personally to better improve my relationship and myself. So it's been great and it was fun.
Awesome. I'm sure I can find some more topics that we can probably do a discussion panel on in the future. And this may not be the last you've heard of this panel. Brett. Hi, Brett. How are you doing? Okie dokie. Why don't you tell us what your closing remarks are? Okay. I like that. I like everybody's closing remarks. And before I say what I'm going to say, I want to take the time to thank everybody for joining this discussion panel and being part of this vision I had to come on and talk about relationships and different things and with more perspectives. It's pretty easy to get on here by myself and talk about this or with Ace, but when you actually have perspective from multiple people, I think it helps out a lot because I think each perspective from each person reaches a different person. So that was my main goal. Now, for my closing remarks are actually going to be more of a response. And I'm gonna respond to Itzy in the comments. And her comment was, "I'm glad it works for everyone else. I just don't believe in love and relationships anymore. At least for me. I'm too closed up now." Now, my response to that, Itzy, is number one. That's okay. I get it. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, you need to at least give it an opportunity. You know what? Sometimes, sweetie, enough's enough. And sometimes you just need to really take time to just heal. And find yourself. I know people say that a lot. You need to find, but truly, you really do need to find yourself. It's okay if You just say, hey, you know what? I just don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to try this anymore. It's okay. All right. Sometimes, even take this for instance. Okay, so in the Avengers, after Thanos did the snap, what did he do? He went off and he rested. He fought all those years, all those decades. He was tired of fighting. He did what he thought he could do, and he was done. Okay, of course, then Thanos find him again, and Thor cut his head off. Don't take that part. Just the first part of it. But seriously, sometimes it's okay. It's okay, especially if you just don't feel like your heart can take anymore. Don't let it. Just you protect it. If that time comes and someone comes along and they value and see your worth, and they can see that you have been damaged and you've been hurt, and they're willing to help you put those pieces back together, only that I would say, at least give them that opportunity. If anything, build a friendship first. I think a lot of times that's what a lot of relationships kind of take a side street, is because we get into relationships and we're not actually friends first. Because even if you're, and I've been in plenty of relationships where I was friends with her and we broke up, but we're still friends. I mean, we don't talk every day. We don't have like regular conversations, but I know that if I saw her, she saw me, we could have a cordial conversation without, God, I hate that fool, or man, I wish that fool would get hit by a bus. Yeah, it's nothing like that. There's no ill feelings. You know what I'm saying? You can still be friends with somebody, not talk to them every day, or not talk to them hardly ever, but can still consider them as a friend. All right. But I would say build a friendship first, and then let all the other stuff fall where it falls. But more important, if you don't take anything else from this whole real talk discussion, take this away. Love yourself first. Heal yourself first. Take care of you first before you even think about trying to get in a relationship and do anything with anybody else. Because if you don't, then you're just going to continue to repeat the same thing. And I think Pac-Man had said that earlier. That is 100% the definition of the word insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Okay, so those are my closing remarks. I didn't mean to get all deep on y'all here for a second. I apologize. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, this has been another great episode of the real talk. It's been another episode of the Birdman Show, Real Talk edition. But the Birdman Show will be back next week, and next week we're getting back to some good old fashioned Birdman, and I'm talking about some real true crime stuff. Now, I don't remember. Britt, did Ace already talk to you? Okay, so next week, and the reason why I'm saying something to Britt, because this was Britt's idea. So next week we are going to be talking about the real life Gone Girl. Now, most people hear that, they think about the Ben Affleck movie, Gone Girl. But there's actually been several cases that were considered Gone Girls. But this case in particular we'll be talking about, I heard about it, but then when I saw the Netflix documentary on it, it blew my mind. And like I said, this is something Britt brought up. I know Britt has a lot more knowledge about this one, but I've watched Netflix. I will be watching it again because actually it was that good. And I don't watch Netflix documentaries like that. But yeah, it was really good. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It was called what is it? American Nightmare. And it's called American.
No, it's American Nightmare.
Britt, don't be doing that.
Yeah, she's just trying to throw shit out there. American Horror Story. No, that's a whole fucking series.
Yeah, stop trying to Mandela affect me. But that's gonna be my new thing. Don't be Mandela affect me. But yeah, so we'll be back next week at 6 p.m. Central Time. We will probably be coming to you from a new platform that we're gonna be trying out. I think it's gonna be awesome because there's a lot of features on there. We'll talk about it a little bit in the show, but there's gonna be a lot of features on it. I'm looking forward to it. So I can't wait. But that's gonna be next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget about Thursday, the Birdman Show the Birdman Show recap. I'm still having my stroke, apparently. But the Birdman Show recap is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Time. Good freaking God. So once I get down here, I'm gonna go back and put my little white coat on, the one that helps me hug myself. But the Birdman Show recap is gonna be tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Time, over at TikTok on our platform over there on my page, Birdman Show. Definitely come check that out. It is a lot of fun. We've been having some great recaps here lately. I think this series has been amazing. And so we've been having some great recaps. So that's where we also do if people want to come on there and pitch us ideas on different show topics. That's where we've gotten a lot of them. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, like always. Ace is usually always on there with me. Britt jumps in. Mama Berries jumps in. Des is usually there. Elaine, if she's not.
I just need reminders. I just need a reminder. And I'll be there.
And it looks like that most of the ideas come from Britt and Matthew.
No. They've only given us a couple ideas. The majority of the ideas have come from your friend Hunter.
Oh God. Yeah.
And we actually had to reduce that list down a little bit because he gave us like 7 different ideas, and I went through and I looked them up and I was like, we're gonna have to say no to this one.
Yeah.
So we've got like 3 or 4 of his ideas still in there, but I mean, it doesn't matter who they come from or what they are. We're going to do our research. And whenever we do our research, that's when we're going to decide if it's something together that we want to bring on the show.
Yes, 100%.
Suggested does not mean that we're going to bring it on. It has to be something that flows with the vibe of the podcast.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the reasons why I love this show, and I'm very thankful Ace came on to be part of it, because we do vibe pretty well with that kind of stuff. So it's great. All right, so
that's literally what he just said in his TikTok. That you were happy that he came on the show with you.
Yes, I
he does most of the talking.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Anyway, what? Oh, Jesus, Britt, do not do that. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know what the heck. I thought you were being attacked by a gremlin or something. Oh, I didn't know if that was a gremlin, if that was a freaking bobcat, or I don't know what the heck that was. You can't do that. Okay. But yeah, anyways, thank you once again, everybody, for joining us on this episode of the Birdman Show as you listen to the smooth sounds of Tevin Campbell. Can we talk? Oh, we can talk, and we just got through talking. So once again, thank you very much for joining us on the Birdman Show. Like I said, if you want to be part of the Birdman Show, well, actually, I'll send a link for the next episode. But you can catch all of our past episodes on our YouTube channel at Birdman Show Podcast 9643. You can also catch us on Patreon at patreon.com/The Birdman Show. Once again, thank you very much. This is the Birdman. We're the Birdman.